This is Nasha Kasha, Ukrainian Almanac. 28 minutes of stories for everyone about Ukrainian life. I'm your reporter, Stefan Andrusiak, and this is episode 246. The word for February in Ukrainian is lutey. It means fearsome or enraged. In a February 2021 deep freeze, let's warm up to a story about a band called Zirka. Since I recorded this back in 2019 in Ottawa, band member Peter Hucal has stepped away, and in his place the band welcomes guitarist Yurko Mikhailuk. Zirka has a new album recorded in isolation, available online just about anywhere you can get your music. Here's a preview. Here's band leader Morris Hucal.
The band Zirka, Stefan, has been the house band at the Capital Ukrainian Festival in Ottawa since its inception. And last year, Zirka provided a 40-minute live video that the Capital Ukrainian Festival used as part of their virtual Zabava in 2020. Stefan, it was so great to see you at the 2019 Capital Ukrainian Festival, and hopefully we can connect again at the festival again soon.
Slawko Hucal północy, dymia tworzy ludy świat. Lemchaniczka z waniczką, pozerającą w oczy, pozerającą w oczy. Lemchaniczka z waniczką, pozerającą w oczy, pozerającą w oczy.
Зайшов місяць за хмару і не видають пару, що робили вони там. Та манічка з манічком позирали на хмару, позирали на хмару. Та манічка з манічком позирали на хмару, позирали на хмару.
Showtime.
July 20th, 2019. This is the story of three brothers, a sister, and two friends. They are Morris, Peter, John, and Catherine Hucal, Bill Havrishchuk, and Karen Aniol. Together, they are Zirka, which means star, and they are all stars on the Ukrainian dance and festival scene. In the program, you will also hear a snippet of Nigel Kennedy playing Tchaikovsky's Violin Concerto in D major, Opus 35, but the rest of the show is all Zirka.
Right now. I believe so.
You're on now? I suppose so. They're wheeling drums out onto the center of the stage. Would that be you? That would be my cue, yeah. Can you self-introduce?
Oh, Bill Havrishchuk from Zirka. And we're standing on stage now at the Capital Ukrainian Festival in Ottawa, and we're going to be on in a couple of minutes.
So those are your drums?
No, those are rental sets. So I'm, on one hand, lucky this weekend that I didn't have to bring a lot of equipment. And everywhere you go, it's different. Here, all good stuff. Good festival, good PA, excellent stage crew, good drum kit. So,
okay. I'll let you go.
Very good.
Ти ж мене підманула, ти ж ж мене підвела, ти ж мене молодо з ума розуму звела. Сказали в понеділок, підем разом по барвінок. Я прийшов, тебе нема, а відманула, підвела. Ті ж казали у вівторок, поцілуєш рази 40. Я прийшов, тебе нема, підманула, підвела. Ти ж мене підманула, ти ж мене підвела. Ти ж мене молодого з ума розуму звела. Ти ж мене підманула, ти ж мене підвела. Ти ж мене молодого з ума розуму звела. Ти ж мене підманула, ти ж мене підвела. Ти ж мене молодого з ума розуму звела. Ти ж мене підманула, ти ж мене підвела. Ти ж мене молодого з ума розуму звела. Дякую.
My name is John Hucal from the band Zirka.
And you play?
I play the trumpet, and I play the trombita and the whistle, and I also fill in for the drums when Bill Hadashuk wants to take a break from the Kolomeka. I jump on the drums.
So are you the most active band in Canada right now from the Ukrainian genre?
I would say yes. I would say yes. We actually just came back from Australia. But yeah, so this year we're booked every weekend in September, October, and November.
Tell me the story of your family.
So growing up, my parents really loved the Ukrainian culture. In the city of Sudbury. And they made sure that we went to Ukrainian school on Saturday mornings. We had to miss cartoons, but that was okay. And we were involved with the Ukrainian dancing group, the Dnipro choir, and we also were very fortunate to travel the world with those groups. We performed in Australia, Ukraine. We went to Brazil and all across Western Canada.
What was the progression? Who started playing first of your brothers and your sister, and why did you choose the brass instruments?
Okay, that's a good question, because my brother's the oldest, Peter Hucal. He was actually starting the accordion. He didn't like that much, so he went to the drums for a little bit, and then he ended off with the guitar. The guitar was his instrument to learn and play in the band. And then Morris came along, and he started the accordion right away. But also in high school, he played the trombone a little bit. But so he's our accordion player, Morris Hucal. And then I came along, and my passion was the drums. I love the drums. They made sure I got music lessons. But our cousin, John Bihoon, at the time was the lead drummer in our Zirka band. So I knew that wasn't going to be a possibility for me to play the drums. And that's how it was going to be. So, and I was fine with that. So in grade school, grade 7, I was able to start learning how to play the trumpet. And I played that all the way through high school. And I love playing the trumpet. And then my sister came along, Catherine Hucal, and same thing. In grade 7, she was able to start an instrument, and she played the sax. But prior to that, my father got her to play the accordion, which she didn't really like and enjoy. But anyway, so we all played multiple instruments, and that's...
It's like your parents needed a program to know which kid was playing which instrument.
Yeah, pretty much.
Зозуленька на стодолі на розі, заплакала дівчинонька, батька на порозі. Гей, 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 заплакала дівчинонька, батька на порозі. Не куй, зозуленько, на стодолі на розі. Не плач, дівчинонько, батька на порозі. Гей, 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 чом до мене, моя мати, ніхто не присниться. Багач доню не заходить, а під волосся коса зіллям зелений.
Hi, my name is Karen Aniel, and I play violin and I sing for the Toronto Ukrainian band Zirka.
Now, are you sure they'd be happy with you calling it a Toronto band?
Well, we all kind of had an agreement that we based ourselves out of Toronto, but yeah, definitely we're a bit spread out, and our roots extend through the province.
Talk about your roots, maybe a little bit about where you came into that story.
Well, my parents, after the war, actually, they were born, and Dad was born in Germany, but his roots are Polish, and Mom was born in Belgium, and I actually didn't realize I had Ukrainian roots until I was in my adolescence. So,
did somebody shake you out of your sleep and go, Karen, you're part Ukrainian?
I guess just being curious, wanting to know a little bit more about the family, right, and just conversations and looking at pictures and hearing the stories, and just something that came with that, and so that's a very beautiful thing. And my parents decided that they wanted me to pursue some music at a very young age. So at age 5, I started violin lessons. I was one of those kids who really wasn't necessarily passionate about it. I kind of revolted and wanted to quit, and mom wouldn't let me, neither would Dad, and I'm really grateful that they didn't, because music's been a huge part of my life.
How long does it take to get good at playing the violin?
I guess it depends on the individual and how much you practice, right?
How long did it take you?
I studied classical music, very regimented, very lots of practice, like upwards of 3 hours a day. Sort of music consumed my evening hours after school, and so I was quite a talented young lady with classical music in my adolescence. I think when I was studying classical music, my favorite violin concerto was the Tchaikovsky violin concerto, and my idol was always Nigel Kennedy, and I had a recording of him playing this, and it just was such a moving piece. And I did actually, when I was, say, at the prime of my classical career, if you would say, I actually performed that violin concerto, and it was quite a momentous. First years of undergraduate university, I stayed in Sudbury, and I played with another group for a few years. Zirka had another violinist, Melissa Shack, and she and I are friends. We grew up actually with classical music, playing in the symphony and orchestras together and traveling. And she went on to pursue some other musical endeavors overseas in Europe. And Zirka had a need for a violinist, and so they approached me, and the rest is history. So that would have been probably around 2006.
When did you learn to sing?
Well, with classical music studies, I also studied operatic, took vocal lessons. So, which is very different from this style of music. You're using a different part of your voice.
Yeah, but it's not from singing around the campfire.
No.
No. Oh, okay.
Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played, and it pleased the Lord. But you don't really care for music, do you? And it goes like this: the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall, the major lift, the baffled king composing hallelujah, 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 hallelujah. Faith is strong, but you needed proof. You saw her bathing on the roof, a beauty in the moonlight overthrew you. Then she tied you to a kitchen chair, she broke your throne and cut your hair, and from your lips she drew the hallelujah. this room, then I'd walk this floor. I used to live alone before I knew you. But I saw you fly on the marble arch. Our love is not a victory march. It's a cold and it's a broken hallelujah, 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 there's a God above, but all I've ever learned from love is how to shoot somebody who outdrew you. Then it's not a cry that you hear at night. It's not someone who's seen the light. It's a cold, it's a broken hallelujah, 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 hallelujah,
I love your rendition of Hallelujah.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, it's one of those ones I would love to record it again because it's one of those ones that's just evolved over the years.
You'd do it differently? You'd sing it, you'd interpret it differently?
Differently, yeah, from when we first recorded it, right? And I think with music you bring, there's something about music that might resonate with you and it causes us to maybe reflect back on certain times in our life, or maybe there are certain times in our life that sort of resonate with the meaning of a certain song, and so you kind of bring that and put it into your performance, and I think then the delivery is just like so real.
Your professional career, how did those studies combine with your music?
In a way, kind of polar opposites, right? So I was very strong academically. I pursued degree in biology and forensic biology, actually. And essentially, I ultimately became a nurse. I worked as a forensic nurse, and then I went on to be to study as a nurse practitioner. And so that's what I do in my career.
So a forensic nurse investigates?
So I was actually working with people in a crisis setting, so survivors of domestic violence as well as sexual assault. And so providing like first line care as well as follow-up care and so some counseling sort of kind of intertwines with that as well. And then ultimately I wanted to kind of pursue further studies with nursing and became a nurse practitioner, and I've actually worked with in geriatric medicine.
You have to dig pretty deeply in order to address some of the situations that you find yourself in, or do I have that wrong?
Oh, absolutely. Especially like doing my line of work in geriatric medicine is very, like our consults are upwards of 3. I could spend 3 hours. I could spend an entire day on one, complicated patient because we dig into everything and leave no stone unturned. So, yeah, it's very detailed work. What
today are the prime concerns in geriatric medicine from a nursing point of view?
Our population is aging, right? And I see, there's a need for care. There's a need for facilities that can support people as they age, because as people age come various health changes and a lot of frailty, and some of the common things that we look at is cognition, for instance, people losing their memory and needing more help because of that, because they can't do the things that they used to be able to do. We see a lot of people who are having falls and mobility issues and as well, right, needing physical care. So those are some of the common things that we see.
How does music balance your professional life, or does it? Do you find there's an equilibrium, or
Do you search for rewards in your career and in your music?
I'm a very creative person, and certainly there can be aspects in my professional career where I can incorporate my creativity, but a lot of the times it's the music that sort of fulfills that side of me, as well as just being an outlet, right? And kind of, music is such a healing. It's a medicine, right? And I think that when you're fueling your passion, you're opening up to experience joy, and when you're joyful, then it just radiates this beautiful energy that impacts other people and makes them feel good as well. The dynamic is incredible. It's
I see a lot of respect.
There's a lot of respect. There's everybody brings just these beautiful gifts of their own, and together we create something just so mind-blowing and wonderful, and just makes us all so happy.
Як праця говорить, там широкі полі воля, там синіє море, там широкі полі воля, там синіє море.
You joined the band. Can you remember a time when you went, I'm going to stay with these guys?
I always wanted to play with Zirka. So it was like, I was just so ecstatic when they asked me to play. So right from the get-go, I'm in. For me, I can't imagine life without music. I can't imagine not performing with, those 5 other awesome souls. It's a part of who we all are. And so it's just integral. It's just, needs to be there.
You ride a motorcycle.
I do ride a motorcycle.
So you're a loud presence in your neighborhood. There she is. There. Oh, we hear her practicing. We hear her revving.
I live in the country, so it's okay. We're a little bit spread out from our neighbors, and yeah.
If there are complaints, you can always say, "Hey, you could be living next to Bill and his drums."
Yeah, exactly. Actually, funny though. Now that you say that, we had the weekend before coming here to Ottawa for this wonderful festival. We had a band rehearsal in my backyard. So Bill brought his drum kit. And all was good.
Okay, well, long may you run.
Thank you so much.
Мені ворожка ворожила, що мене любила, хлопці я, бо хлопець любить та й покине, а ти дівчино будь сама, бо хлопець любить та й покине, а ти дівчино будь сама. Поки не карі оченята, поки не личко цілува, поки не дівчину любити, та ще милою назива, поки не дівчину любити, та ще милою назива.
I'd like to gratefully acknowledge that partial funding for Nasha Kasha is provided by the Shevchenko Foundation and by the Ukrainian Credit Union. Nasha Kasha is also a podcast. There's an easy way to access it for free. Go to nashakasha.libsyn.com. Nasha Kasha is one word. Libsyn is spelled LIBSYN.com. nashakasha.libsyn.com. New Pathway Ukrainian News delivers news and insight every week in English and Ukrainian. Subscribe today at newpathway.ca.
Піду до лісу, загублюся, нехай шукає він мене. Піду до моря, утоплюся, нехай не буде більш мене. Піду до моря, утоплюся, нехай не буде більш мене. Мені ворожка ворожила, щоб не любила хлопців я, бо хлопець любить та й покине, а ти, дівчино, будь сама, бо хлопець любить та й покине, а ти, дівчино, будь сама, бо хлопець любить та й покине, а ти, дівчино, будь сама.
Be well, everybody. Stay safe, and know this: the clouds are clearing. Look, up there, you can almost see a Zirka. Back in a week, God willing. До милої зустрічі за тиждень часу, дорогі слухачі.